Hey, my friend wanted me to make him a meta ED Contagion Lich build, and he really liked the Totem, so we spec'd a little bit more into the Totem than we normally would have. And honestly, I still prefer my other build. I think it's cheaper. I think it doesn't contest all the other ED Contagion builds out there. Um, if you've already seen a couple, I would just skip to the tree. That's probably going to be the only difference. Maybe look at the skill gems. I'll run some gameplay real quick, and then I'll get into the build. Alright, coming out of the gameplay, I didn't have to use Convalescence at all during that. It might be due to the charm that I'm running, which is, we'll get there. It's really good. Our energy recharge delay is only 1.3 seconds, so it's pretty nice. The rotation pretty much is either you cast Contagion, Essence Rain, you cast Totem either before or after, it doesn't matter, and then Despair at any point. But you can also just do Totem Despair, and that's good enough. This build insta-cast Despair, so you won't see it go on the ground. You'll know when it takes your mana that you did right. Currently, because of his gear, he's having some mana issues, but once he gets more max life, it'll scale his mana regen, and he won't have issues anymore. He's currently running ghostwrithe as well, which is technically worse, but he had a worse rare, so it ended up being better. Going into the gems, usual blasphemy as far as temporal ritualistic curse goes. He's running encumbrance. He just likes the extra slow. Profane ritual, ignore that. He just has that on there for funsies. He's running unleash, magnified effect, and chaotic freeze. Check out my chaotic freeze short if you're curious about the deal with this. Essence drain, cast mastery, chain, swift affliction, consider casting, the usual. Convalescence, second wind. It really helps when your second wind pops, but then you really need it again and it's on cooldown. Normally you don't need to use it a third time, so you can wait out the cooldowns. You shouldn't really have to use Convalescence that much, especially if you're able to pick up one of these jewels. The jewel's worth like it actually doubled in price in the past day, but it was 50x when we bought it. Or sorry, the charm. Withering Presence, running Clarity. Persistence on Convalescence, sorry about that. Ingenuity on Blink. On Effigy, we're running Arcane Tempo. It doesn't work on Tooltip, but it's confirmed tested work. And Venom for what is essentially another dot, and that adds another projectile. So you can call it projectile scaling. Control destruction because the hits hit. And then we're running execute. It's actually pretty nice against bosses once you get them 35% or lower. There's a couple different things you could run here. You, you could run Ancestral Urgency, but they just recently buffed totems to where you can kind of just place it down a little earlier and it just won't die, so you don't have to worry about it. They now have 75% of each elemental res and 35% chaos, so it's really not a big deal. If it were me, I would be running Glaciation as my last support on Effigy to pair up with Contagion. You'll get like a lot of boss phrases. And then on Despair, Heightened Curse, Decaying Hex. You have to run Decaying Hex on Despair. It doesn't work on Blasphemy. Inspiration to lower the mana cost. And then Focus Curse. Focus Curse is really nice because this is what pushes the threshold to make it instacast. So that'll be the gems. As far as the gear goes, we're running second weapon set, just either Chaos spell skills or all spell skills. And then we're running a +4 wand, ideally be a +5, +2 focus. You want to get as much spell damage as you can on these, obviously. The MAXROLL have the same gear, maybe some upgrades. Well, I'll see how I feel later. I'm only on +2 amulet, looking for +3. We're going to do a lot of upgrades today, hopefully. We got the rings, nothing special on these. Just fixing reses, getting max life and chaos damage. Max life is actually a really good stat. It goes on your Asteries, it scales your energy shield, it scales your mana regen through that first Ascendancy node, Soulless Form. It's honestly a really nice stat. These gloves are actually really bad, but you know they're good enough. Belt, you can run any belt to fix your reses or get max life. Yeah, you can also run chevrons. Sorry about that. To get your mana flask your health flask to apply to your energy shield. It's pretty good. I would run it if you don't need reses or health off of here. If you're having any issues with like mana regen or reses, or I think strength is the only attribute that rolls in here, then you would run one of these belts. Otherwise, you're pretty okay running one of these. This one only has one charm slot, but I think new drop belts will have either any from 1 to 3. So you can find a 2 or 3 charm chevrons. That'll be good. Just the normal boots, just move speed, getting energy shield, getting some more reses. Try to stack as much ES as you can. He's pretty low on ES. He's only 7k. He should be around 10k at least at this point, but he's kind of lacking. It's alright though. We're running Nascent Hope Dawning Charm. This is really good. It just doubled in price since the last update though, so you might not be able to get it at a good price. It starts energy shield recharge on use. And then he's running a Golden Charm because we have plenty of stun regen. These last are pretty nice. This one doesn't do anything unless he's running chevrons, but just gain charge and amount recovered. And for everybody running Eternal Life, if you have the modifier removes 15% of mana from your life, you can't do that to your life, so it's just free. So these are basically best prefix and suffix for your mana flask. In theory, you shouldn't have mana issues late game, and you shouldn't have them early game. There's just this weird middle game area where you might not have enough health. Ideally, you want around 1800 to 2000 for proper mana regen. So moving on, we'll cover the tree next. The tree, it's pretty normal to all the other trees that you'll find on build guides, but I'm running Rupture. I think Rupture has a lot of synergy with Totem, especially like anybody who likes Totem likes Rupture. Some people will say, oh, Rupture is not nice because it makes your Contagion not spread. I say screw Contagion, who cares? Eternal Life, pretty obvious. I'm running the Jewel Socket. I think getting the increased energy shield is really nice, and some of the other stats you can pick up is really nice. Getting it doubled is amazing. You could be running Eldritch Empowerment, but I just prefer not to. This is how I'm pathing. Early game you pad spell damage, but now I'm pathing energy shield, picking up energy shield nodes, picking up chaos. We're picking up, this is actually, I got this off Dead Rabbit. He's running weapon set 1 for this. It's actually a really good idea. You don't need all this energy shield recharge on your second weapon set because you almost never have it out, so it's really nice. I think this cluster right here is actually really inefficient, so I don't run it. Same thing, damage. You can see weapon set 1 here from my damage nodes. I maximize all of my weapon set nodes, so it's really nice. On my other build, I instill Royal, but in this case, I pad to it, and I instill Spirit Bond. There's also another instill down here, I forget exactly what it is, but it's a Totem damage node with cast speed, so this one could be nice. I don't have 2 Sufferings and an Ire, so I'm not doing that. You got me fucked up, but it is nice if you're hyper rich and you want damage, because now with the totem changes, you no longer need this totem life node. And totem duration is completely dead because you can just cast another one. It's not a big deal. Expecting a threshold for ailment and stun. Same thing on the gems. His gems are pretty unoptimal. We're going to fix that pretty soon. On this build, we do a good amount of hits, so Pure Chaos is a little bit better. You know, I would already get these 3 nodes because they're pretty efficient, so grabbing the 1 extra node is pretty nice. This cluster they just added off the new update, it's actually pretty nice. It's about equal to this node right here, but because we're running a freeze charm, I'm not too worried about ailment threshold. I already have 5,000, I believe. Yeah, 4,000. But we'll get more. Just another recharge node down here. So this is pretty special here. We're pathing to this curse activation node to get our insta curses. We're pathing to this node because I got this off KY Path of Exile Kai on YouTube. I saw a really nice totem build from him, and he's running this on his weapon set too. So I'm assuming Despair can activate this 30% buff. I haven't tested it myself. I don't plan on it, but I trust him. Having weapon set 2 hinder means only your Despair hinders, but that's also okay, because with this sort of setup, we're casting Despair and Totem all the time. It actually makes his life issue a lot worse. If you're casting Totem and Despair as much as you are on this build, you definitely need more life. We're going to fix that later. But this is the tree. It's pretty simple. We have 10 points left. We're probably going to pad to the drill socket. Might pick up more ailment threshold. We'll see going forward. Level 90 is like half the XP you need to get to 100, so we got a long road ahead. As far as the drills go, they're not even worth showing. They're pretty bad. But yeah, in conclusion, pretty much just your stereotypical meta ED Contagion Lich build right now. This one's slightly spec'd to be more nice to totems. And that's pretty much about it.